Hello, this is Samantha Stewart. I'm the owner and principal of Gate City Preservation and the past president of the College Hill Neighborhood Association. I currently serve on the board and I'm a resident of College Hill. I live on Tate Street. Worked on this with both Preservation Greensboro Incorporated and Preservation Greensboro Development Fund, along with the other board members and residents of the College Hill Neighborhood Association. And first and foremost, I just want to thank UNCG so much for bringing this to us and asking for our thoughts with the potential demolition of these two properties that are both located in the College Hill National Register Historic District. So let's just take a look at McIver Street. There's 127 McIver, and it is currently bound by two privately owned properties that are both used as rental properties for residents. We've got this large acreage here that's currently the community garden from UNCG. And then here we have 119 McIver Street. Next to 119 McIver is the current child care center. And then on the other side of the current child care center is another large vacant lot. So UNCG would like to demolish 119 so they can have a long, contiguous parcel here of land where they can build their new child care center. 119 McIver is a great example of craftsman architecture. It's made of solid materials. The house is in really good shape considering, and it's also the perfect size for affordable housing. So we would love to see this house moved rather than demolished. We think that it'd be a great fit for either the Glenwood neighborhood across the street, across Gate City Boulevard, or for College Hill. Both the age and the style of the property would fit both neighborhoods. And because this house is a little bit smaller, it would be much easier to move than 127. So we've identified two lot opportunities for 119 McIver. The first is 814 Rankin Place, which is in College Hill, and the other is 900 Haywood Street, and that parcel is owned by UNCG. We'll talk about Rankin first. So, Rankin Place is in College Hill, and it's a great residential street here with lots of houses ranging from the early 1900s to mid 1900s. So, the house would be a really perfect fit for this neighborhood as a craftsman bungalow. This is the lot here. It's owned by Greensboro College and is currently used as a rear entrance for the Reynolds Center. And it's a really large asphalt parking lot here. It was likely the location of a house that was demolished a long time ago. But as you can see from the street view, it's a perfect place to put this house to introduce more affordable housing into the neighborhood. Here's an aerial view of 814 Rankin Place. You can see Reynolds Center to the north, and it's surrounded by a bunch of residential houses on that block. We're very excited to report that Greensboro College has actually hired an engineer named Tori Smalls, who's looking at the feasibility of putting a house here on the property. We think that it's a good opportunity to encourage students to walk to Reynolds Center by creating a more pedestrian friendly entrance here that's a bit more pedestrian scale and incorporates having a house frontage on this lot. The next option is Haywood Street. Haywood is in the Glenwood neighborhood, which is across Gate City Boulevard. You see, these two houses here have actually been moved. Those were moved pretty recently. And the other houses on this street are similar to 119 McIver in their size and style. I think they'd be a great fit for Glenwood and Haywood Street. This is the lot here that's a potential, this forested lot. It is owned by UNCG. I do not believe UNCG has plans for this parcel. There's another Craftsman bungalow, two of them right there. So that's a great fit for 119 McIver. And adding a house on this property would be a really nice move on behalf of UNCG to introduce more affordable housing in the Glenwood neighborhood, which is an area that they have demolished several houses in order to accommodate university expansion. Here's an aerial view of 900 Haywood Street right here on that corner lot. It's really 119 is a great size for this lot because the house has a pretty relatively small footprint. If things don't work out with 814 Rankin, This would be a really great second option here, and the lot is already owned by UNCG. So now let's talk about 127 McIver. 127 McIver is an excellent example of a Craftsman four-square. It's got beautiful overhanging eaves, it's made of a really nice wire-cut brick. The house is truly in great shape, even though it has been altered inside to accommodate the Public History Lab. We think that this house should stay where it is and be retained. Because it is currently bound by other residential properties that are privately owned, we just don't see how long-term demolishing this house is going to give any more acreage or possibility for new construction for UNCG. We do understand that they're having to pay for the upkeep, maintenance, and utilities of the house. And so our recommendation is if they sold this house back to the public to be used as a residence for renters, that would be a net positive for UNCG. So even though they don't technically make the money off of the sale, that's our understanding, they would still net positive because they would no longer have to pay for the upkeep and maintenance of the house. And it would also would just show a good faith effort from the university to want to retain affordable housing and also to kind of rebuild that residential strip on McIver Street. Here's an aerial view to illustrate a little bit better what I'm talking about here. You can see the blue box on the aerial map to the left, where it has 127 McIver located there. This whole area is private renters. So you've got the house to the north of 127 McIver, which is privately owned, used as a residence for renters. And then you've got these apartments to the south. So if 127 was sold back and was able to be used as another renter's residence, that would really do a great job of restoring this residential block here, which you can see on the right is contributing to the National Register of Historic Places and is a large part of the College Hill story. Above the green rectangle here, north of 127 McIver, this is the area that includes 119 McIver, and it really does make sense for 119 McIver to be removed here. Because if this whole contiguous parcel is open for the new building, that is 1.24 acres of open land, which would be available to construct a new consolidated child care center. We hope that the university will consider retaining 127 McIver, just because it would be really a shame to lose housing that could be used for residents and could be used for renters who go to UNCG. So there's definitely a need. We absolutely understand the university's desire to create a larger lot here to build the childcare center, but we just don't see how demolishing this one house in the middle of this privately owned area is going to contribute to that because we highly doubt that the property north of 127 is going to be sold. And so that's going to be blocking any large construction anyway. So we're hoping you'd be a little creative with us and consider making that sale, even though you don't technically make the money from it, just so that you don't have to pay those maintenance upkeep needs anymore. And we still are able to retain that affordable housing. And finally, this is a presentation from the Preservation North Carolina Conference that happened this October in Durham. This presentation was from Donovan Ripkema, who is a historic preservationist and economist who works for Place Economics. And it's a great presentation. I'm also going to send this to you separately so you can watch it if you're interested. But it's all about affordable housing and historic buildings, and essentially that most historic buildings are affordable housing and why that is. And he gets specifically into universities being responsible a lot of the time for demolishing affordable housing, which is unfortunate when we're in the middle of such an affordable housing crisis. And that is especially true in Greensboro. Greensboro has a terrible affordable housing shortage. And so we're just hoping that this is inspirational and gives UNCG some ideas of why it's so important to retain historic housing, and specifically housing that is great for and affordable for people in our community. So again, just want to thank you so much for your time today, and thankful to you for wanting to think of some creative solutions of what to do with 119 and 127 McIver Street.